Hello friends, it's Jazz from Australia. Welcome back to my channel. So I've got a bit of a new setup happening here. One of my subscribers, Ratique, suggested that I try to improve my sound. So voila, I've got a microphone. Hopefully the sound quality's better. But yeah, feedback, comments, all of those sorts of things really help me to improve. I'd love to hit the 10 subscriber mark. That'd be cool. Just like 4 more. We're at 6. It's 4 more. That'd be cool. So really quickly before we start the episode, it is the Ulla. It's a smart hydration reminder. The video is not sponsored by them at all. I have 6 subscribers. I'm not going to have anyone sponsoring any videos anytime soon. If I do, thank you. That'd be awesome. I wouldn't even know how to do that actually. Like, how does that work? But anyways, basically this little gadget is awesome. I've been using them for the past 3 to 4 years. So what it is, it's a rubber band and it's attached to the little gadget and it sits discreetly on your drink bottle right here. Every time you have a drink, it will give one flash, which is an indication that it has registered that you've had a sip. You sit it back down where you can see it, and there we go, there's the one flash. It'll start flashing, and then it'll just stop. And then you won't see anything, and it'll go, and we flashed. And then it'll stop. And basically it's discreetly reminding you. You don't put it right in front of your computer or anything. Just put it to the side and it grabs your attention and reminds you to have some water. I've got this one and I also have another one that's still in its box. I have the heart. The back of the box lists everything that it does. And if that's not legible, I'll just put the link to their website down in the description. So check that out. Good for people that work in an office. You don't have this alarm going off saying, hey, you need to drink water. It's also extremely good as an alternative to having a smartwatch remind you. But the only thing is the smartwatch comes everywhere with you. And if you forget to bring your water with you, that could be an issue because you're not going to see the reminder. A solution around that is to have more than one and to place them on different drink bottles around the home. Okay, so that being said, let's just jump into this video. Let's go. Today's video is basically my response, my reaction to an Autism Speaks video. I'm studying my Certificate 3 in Early Childhood Education and Care, and I've worked about 3 years in the industry. So ultimately I've worked with children between the ages of 2 all the way up until 12. Sort of refreshing on a lot of things that I just learned about when I was working, and a lot of that knowledge is on child development and inclusive care, making sure that children's needs are met, listening to them, things in place for children so that they are more confident within themselves and they can achieve milestones. That being said, I just thought I'd give you my thoughts on this video. I've heard things about Autism Speaks. I don't know anybody that likes Autism Speaks. I've watched some videos from other YouTubers that have spoken about Autism Speaks, and I'm just curious what we're going to find. And while you're watching this, feel free to post in the comments how you feel about this video. Are there other elements that I may miss? Is there anything that I might miss here that is also relevant? Because there are always going to be a variety of opinions, and it's important to just, you know, get a whole understanding of everything and hear from other people, because there might be people that see things in this that I don't see. So it's important to have a look at it from all angles. Let's get into the video. So Autism Speaks, they have 34,000 subscribers. That's not much. It says Jazz from Australia with 6 subscribers, but for an autism organisation, that's not much. That is not much at all. The comments are turned off. I wonder why. I don't know. I literally wonder why. And this is the current view count that they have right now, and there's like 43 dislikes as opposed to 19 likes. That's not many at all. Let's start the video. I don't know if I should put like a disclaimer here that this could have some information that's like, this maybe, there might be, I don't know what we're going to expect. But if you've heard of Autism Speaks and you're about to watch this video that I'm doing here, keep in mind that it may get a little bit, I don't know what to expect, but I don't know how I'm going to react. All right, let's go. Adapted from who? So if this is Dad wants the child to put the shoes on, yeah? Picks up one shoe, puts it on.
Shoes on.
Why was Dad watching that whole time and not helping and asking what's wrong? When I work with children, the first thing you do is you observe what's going on and you try to work out how to help. You try to work out what's happening. Dad looks really surprised. The child doesn't look happy. This is an issue. Why is Dad sitting there not helping? What we would do in a childcare environment is ask the child, hey, what's wrong? What's the matter? Are you okay? And also maybe make an observation and say, I'm noticing that you are, and we have to be careful how we word things in childcare because we're not supposed to make assumptions. We need to be really objective in what we're seeing. You would say, you've thrown your shoes on the floor. And what else did she do? We look at what she does, okay? And maybe like, you know, you're stomping your feet into the floor. It's a bit hard for me because I'm autistic to do this on the spot. This doesn't seem right. Dad's not responding. There's something wrong. Child has already said no shoes, so let's find out what's wrong, because that could be severe sensory overload for that child, and that child used to be me, which is one of the reasons why I really want to work in childcare again and get my qualification. Children deserve to feel validated. Children need people that are on their side, ready to help when they need it, and also there to step back when they need to do things for themselves and use their own initiative.
Children can also communicate using challenging behavior to avoid something that they do not want to do.
Okay, but what I'm not understanding there is, what is challenging behavior? What are they talking about? There's a key word here and it's communicate. Right there. Children can also communicate. This child is trying to tell their dad something and Dad just sat there. Dad didn't do anything. I'm feeling my childhood traumas. Gosh. See, when I was told when I was a kid that I had to do something a particular way, even though it was severely traumatic for me because I'm very sensitive to things. I've got specific sensory needs, and some sensations feel a lot stronger to me than they might to other people. And that's different as well from one autistic person to the next. It's a spectrum, and it's the same for any person. Like, as far as I'm aware, we all have likes and dislikes. Every single person, right? For people that are autistic, there are so many things that just feel a lot more stronger. So it could be a smell. A smell might be really mild for someone else to smell, but for someone that's on the spectrum, that smell might be extremely intensified. And it's the same with sensations. Itchy clothing, tags on clothing can be an issue sometimes. It is for me. I can't stand them if they're in a particular spot. Some tags I'm fine with, but there are these long annoying ones, and then there are these I'd rather have clothing that doesn't have a tag on it. Now, what I want to know about this here is, what's wrong with these shoes? Is it the strap? I actually heard a sound. I'm going to come back to 49 seconds there, but when she went to put the shoes on, I heard a noise.
Shoes on.
Was it here? That noise. That noise. What was that noise? Did the strap get her? I don't know why that was there. That's weird. That's very weird. Alright. I would be, there's something's not right with the shoes. When I was a kid, I was told that I had to wear these shoes that didn't fit me anymore. My feet were forced into them. It was horrible, right? They were so tight that it was hard for me to walk, but that was what I was told I needed to wear, unfortunately. And because of that, I ended up with blisters on my feet. And I hated wearing sandals because my toes would stick out of the sandals and the little bit would rub against them. And every time I walked, it would make me not want to participate in sport because of these sandals that I wore. Every single time I walked around, and I would feel like I just wanted to take them off. It was just a nightmare. Trying to function, I just dropped my fidget. Trying to function, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Let's keep watching this. I'm just frustrated at this. Okay.
Children can also communicate using challenging behavior to avoid something that they do not want to do. Lily is frustrated and tries to avoid putting on her shoes by kicking them away, yelling and stomping her feet.
Okay. But there's a problem with the shoes.
Let's watch as Jen sets a clear
sensory thing,
expectation
probably.
so
I
that
mean-
Lily knows that her challenging behavior will not stop the activity.
She doesn't even get a choice to say
Yes,
no.
Lily. Shoes on.
Oh my gosh. And this is like the point where I would go, okay, well, I guess they're not going to listen to me. Time I try and tell people, like, you know, people that are meant to be helping me grow and people that are supposed to be helping nurture my brain and help me to develop. Every time they didn't listen to me and I was still told that I had to do the thing, oftentimes it was put your shoes on, because if you don't put your shoes on, we're not going out and you're not getting ice cream, or you're not getting Pokemon cards, you're not getting something that you want. So I would have to look at how everyone else was behaving and copy them and mask. And I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. Okay, that's relatable.
Shoe
Yep.
on.
That look there was like, okay, will you validate me now? That's so relatable. Oh my gosh, that looks at.
Shoe on.
Oh my gosh.
Shoe on!
Shoe on because that means we can still go out and maybe I'll be more likable because you're not listening to me, and apparently I have to fit into the world, and I want you to be happy. I don't want you to be confused at me, because when you look at me with confusion, then I automatically realize there's something weird about me and I'm different. That is literally, that's past Jazz. That's the thoughts that I would have had as a kid. I don't want to be looked at. You know, I never wanted to be looked at as weird or different or unusual. I didn't like it when people looked at me and I could just see it in their eyes, almost like this dad here, you know, he looked confused. That's what I think. Then again, I'm autistic, so I'm not great with facial expressions, but he looked a bit confused. He looked a bit like taken aback maybe. Okay, what's she doing with her shoes? He didn't even ask. There are so many reasons that she may not have wanted those shoes on, but was she asked? No.
Shoe on. Let's go. So proud of you, Lily.
Let's go, because we weren't going to go without the shoes on.
How
The voice acting. The voice acting right there. Just.
Yay!
How do you respond when your child uses challenging behavior to avoid doing something that they do not want to do?
Find out why. I find out why. I don't have children, but like in a childcare setting, I find out why. I talk to them. I ask them why. Hey, what's happening with your shoes? And then, you know, if we keep talking and figure out what's going on, then I say, hey, oh, that, you know, oh, they're rubbing, are they? They're rubbing against your skin. That must be really uncomfortable. I bet it hurts a lot too, yeah? And let's have a good think, and we're going to try and come up with a solution for how we can make this better. Do you think we can go out and have a look at the shops for some shoes that might feel a bit better?
That's
I thought they were saying that's right to me.
right. Jen has shown us that sometimes children use challenging behavior to avoid activities, particularly those they do not enjoy.
How do we know that she doesn't enjoy wearing shoes? Maybe it's just those shoes. Have we asked the child?
When this happens, 1. It is important to set clear, consistent, and appropriate expectation.
Oh, not in my mouth. So in other words, what they're saying there is it's important to set clear, consistent, and appropriate expectations. That's pretty much what caused a lot of trauma for me. Granted, if I were ever doing a behaviour that were dangerous to myself or anyone around me, or could have caused damage to, you know, like could have injured another being or something like that, I would understand completely that, you know, setting clear, consistent, appropriate expectations is important. This example doesn't work in my brain. I cannot see how this even goes together. Like, how this is not valuing the child. Children need to come first. Children should be treated with respect. In an early childhood education and care environment, children come first, and care is centered around the children. There are always going to be rules, boundaries, and expectations. They're going to have that, but expecting a child that has clearly said no to something, we need to be asking why. We need to be looking at this behaviour and figuring out what's happening. We need to talk to the child. We need to try different things. Get in touch with an occupational therapist and someone that specialises in this area, and talk to them and find out what's going on for this child, because this is frustrating. And had I have not had this sort of treatment as a child, I think that I would have a lot less trauma to be dealing with today in my life at the age of 30.
2. Use words and gestures that match the child's language level.
It's important not to use too many big words with children, definitely, but they're not going to learn if you don't add here and there. You don't have to, no shoes, yes shoes. Why is there no explanation here as to like why? Anyway.
3. Respond to appropriate behavior with praise.
Respond to appropriate behavior. What makes that... Okay, hang on. What makes that appropriate? Great job masking. Let's keep this up and we can go out for that ice cream. Stop trying to change people from who they are. Make accommodations and be inclusive. That's what it comes down to.
Thank you. See you next time.
Wow. Is that it? That's it, right? Yeah, it's just a little stupid puzzle piece. Wow. Well, I feel like I need to take some Panadol for a headache. But yeah, the underlying message. Oh, I'm not logged in. I was gonna thumbs down it. Talk to children, talk to them. Communicate. If a child can't verbalize and say how they're feeling, just verbal communication is not the only thing out there. There are other ways of communicating, and I go non-verbal sometimes, so I think I will do a video about being non-verbal, because I have such a fast thinking brain that when I'm non-verbal and everything shuts down, it's like and it is for another episode to talk about that stuff. Thank you for watching. Talking about this stuff is super important. I don't know what can be done about this, but I think talking about it is the first step. Talk to people, like talk to autistic people. I don't want to say children going through what I went through, because I'm still healing from all of that, and I'm trying to process 29 years of my life where I thought that I had to be like everyone else and put up with things that were very distressing for me, like putting on shoes that hurt. So it's serious stuff. It's hard. Thanks for watching this. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.